I read, where I find the books that I'm interested in reading. Someone left a comment recently asking how I find the books that I'm interested in reading. How do I happen upon these? And I have a whole variety of ways that I find them, and I wanted to tell you about it. And I thought it might be helpful for people that have similar book taste to me, or even if you don't have similar reading taste, some of these methods could still be helpful to you. So the first that is very specific to me is through my dad, my sister, and my grandmother. I found out about Mary Stuart, Ruth Rendell, a book, The Lighthouse, that I recently read, A Suitable Boy. I'm trying to figure out, I know there's a couple others. And I found out about those books through family members. So I definitely ask the readers that you know for the books that they like, and you might find some books out there that you would really enjoy. Even if it's something that you don't typically talk about with them, I think it would be then a neat conversation to say, hey, what are some of your favorite books? You know, I haven't really asked you that before. So asking them that, I think you could get some helpful information there. Then there are several YouTubers that I can reliably find good books through, and specifically certain kinds of books. So Bookish Princess Emma has just such curated taste. Like I feel like she does a lot of research before she picks out books. And so I think she's definitely a channel you can find some good book recommendations from. Particularly modern classics are the kinds of books that I like watch Emma's channel for. But then also, since she does like classics, so I feel like we have the same kind of taste in writing, then if there's a modern book that she's like, this book is so good, I'm like, oh, if you know someone who likes to read classics and has that standard of writing, then I'm going to keep a lookout for that. And then Katie from Life Between Words, especially for middle grade fiction, because she's read a lot of it. So I think if you have a certain genre that you like, checking out a reader, what they like, you might not necessarily like other kinds of genres that they read, but if it's a genre that you like, then you can see this is something they read a lot. They're going to be able to pick kind of the best of the best out of those books. And I think you would find some really helpful things there. Jess from Dickens and Docs on Bookstagram reads so many classics. So yes, I like classics recommendations from her, but then when she recommends a modern book, I'm like, oh, okay, classics reader recommending a modern book. This is something I definitely want to check out. Meghan Hannett. I have found the Mr. Churchill Secretary series through her. She recommended it to me. And then in addition to that, It's Not Supposed to Be This Way by Lisa TerKeurst, which is a Christian nonfiction book that is one of the most impactful books I've ever read. And I definitely recommend Meghan's channel. So go through her backlist of videos. She is on and off again uploading now because she's a very busy lady. She's back in school, and so she is uploading some though. And yeah, just check through Meghan's videos. And then anybody else? Kailey from Books for MKs. She reads a lot of classics. So obviously I like her classics recommendations, but if there are modern books that then are up to her standard, I definitely pay attention. She reads a lot of middle grade fiction. And Katie from Books and Things, I definitely trust Victorian recommendations from her because she reads so much. We don't always have the same taste in Victorian literature, but still I always kind of perk up when she's talking about it. What is she going to, recommend Victorian? And then I ended up finding out about Susanna Kearsley and Phyllis Whitney from Bree Hill. She's Falling for Romance on Bookstagram. And Bree reads a lot of romance. I don't really enjoy contemporary romance. I've tried, and I just think it's not the thing for me. So that's why you should look for, in genres of literature, the subgenres that you might enjoy. So historical romance, gothic romance, romantic mysteries, those are the kinds of books that I enjoy. And so I found that style of one that Bree recommended and was able to find Susanna Kearsley and Phyllis Whitney through her. And then also Robyn from DriftlessReader. She reads a lot of the modern books that she likes are the kinds of modern books that I would like. And we have read several Susanna Kearsley together a couple years ago, and it was really fun. Then also, since joining the Betsy-Tacy Society, which has been so exciting, I just felt really motivated after the interview I did with Jamil and Jennifer from the Betsy-Tacy Society to join. And I've now been put in a couple like email chains, email groups where you find out books that Betsy-Tacy readers love. And some I had not heard about. So that is a way, maybe joining a literary society is a way that you could find books similar to the ones that you like and finding out about lesser known books. Then I want to recommend the What We Do All Day blog. This is specifically for picture books and for middle grade fiction. This is a mom who reads a lot of middle grade fiction. So I feel like it's very well curated what she's recommending to you. I've had a lot of books that I've really enjoyed recommended on that blog, and I'm really, really grateful for it. And then let's see, what do I have next? Oh, on Goodreads, there is a other books like this section. So just go to your absolute favorite books on Goodreads and then look on the page, the books that they say are similar to that. And it'll lead you down this whole rabbit trail. Or Google books like Betsy-Tacy, books like All of a Kind Family, books like Anne of Green Gables, and you'll find some really interesting lists there. And I like also on the What We Do All Day blog that she has specifically some lists. Books like Little House on the Prairie, books like Anne of Green Gables. She has lists of books that she says are similar to those. And then the Read Aloud Revival podcast. This is for children's literature. She has some amazing guests on there, children's authors, people that work with literacy with children. And she asks them sometimes, some of their favorite books. And it's wonderful to hear the books that people suggest. In one interview, I heard about Each Little Bird That Sings by Deborah Wiles, and it's become one of my all-time favorite middle grade books out there. And I'm so glad that I heard about it on there. Then also look in my comment section, because I have found out about multiple books just from subscribers saying, hey, have you heard of this book? And I'm really, really grateful when people watch me and they know my specific reading taste, and they say, I think you would like this book. You should know about this book. And Lucinda Riley is an author that I wouldn't have known about had somebody not told me about her. So I'm really thankful to subscribers who know my taste and recommend me books specifically. Then let's see what else I have here. Oh, Giselle Bradley is not really currently uploading on YouTube all that often, but her Goodreads page, she reads so many books. It's just filled with books and books and books. And so it's particularly Fairytale Retellings, if you like those. I often scour her list for those. And so I'll link her Goodreads page because that's really just a wealth of information there. And then the podcast Bonnets at Dawn. They investigate a lot of 19th and 20th century literature written by women and really delve deep. And it's just such a good resource to have. So I definitely recommend Bonnets at Dawn. And then 2 books, Honey for a Woman's Heart and Honey for a Child's Heart. These are just very well-written books about well-written books, things that they recommend, and all sorts of kinds of books. There's chapter books and picture books in Honey for a Child's Heart, and then multiple different kinds of genres in Honey for a Woman's Heart. And then in a similar vein, there is it's called Book Girl by Sarah Clarkson. And Sarah Clarkson's mother is Sally Clarkson, who runs the podcast At Home with Sally. And they were just like a reading family. And so Book Girl includes a whole big list of books. And it reminded me, like, I want to read that book so I can scour it for lists. And then also, along with the Read Aloud Revival podcast, she has a book called The Read Aloud Family, Sarah Mackenzie does. And it has a ton of books recommended in there. So that would be another good resource. And and just like I said, just Googling also very specific kinds of book lists, you'll be really pleasantly surprised at what you will find out there. So I hope this was helpful. And maybe you'll find some wonderful new favorite books from some of these resources. And I will be back for another video soon. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.